the Chi-Town experience on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the like.
A Bears insider believes that there's a scenario where Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears could possibly trade up to land a generational talent in the 2025 NFL Draft. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. So, Bears fans, we are officially 1 month away from the 2025 NFL Draft in Green Bay. I am so excited. I want to let you guys know first and foremost on today's episode of Keek on the Mic that I will be going live for every night of the NFL Draft. That means rounds 1 through 7. I'll be giving you guys coverage right here on the podcast to get my reaction on everything Ryan Poles and the Bears do in this year's NFL Draft. So make sure you guys come join me, have some fun, engage with me. I'm gonna have my best friend, probably my brother-in-law, maybe some other special guests hop on to the podcast. Make sure you guys come join me for all 7 rounds right here on Keek on the Mic. So, Bears fans, once again, I just wanted to come on here really quick and react to something that I saw on X today by, once again, I'm going to call him a Bears insider, Ben Devine. I've talked a lot about Ben Devine on Keek on the Mic, and rather you agree with him or not, rather you believe that he has sources or not, he is very accurate when it comes to Chicago Bears news. So he gave a pretty interesting scenario in regard to what he thinks the Chicago Bears can do in round 1 of the 2025 NFL Draft. And we've had so many different conversations on different directions the Chicago Bears can go. Rather it's taking running back Ashton Jeanty, trading back from 10 and maybe landing Amarion Hampton out of UNC. I've seen a lot of people saying Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle out of Michigan, maybe trading back or even staying put at number 10 and drafting him. There's so many different possibilities of what Ryan Poles and the Bears could do, and this is what Ryan Poles wanted to accomplish, trying to address as many needs as possible in free agency by really upgrading the trenches so he can go into round 1 and basically just take the best player available and keep all his options open. So I'm going to read you guys the post that Ben Devine had, and then we're going to go ahead and discuss it on today's episode of Keek on the Mic. He had this to say, Bears fans. He said, a scenario that could become a real possibility if Abdul Carter slides to pick number 4, the Patriots could trade back to the Bears pick number 10 and take their O-lineman. Chicago gives up pick number 39 and gets defensive end Abdul Carter. The value checks out. He said, #NFL Draft. First and foremost, there's going to be a lot of Bears fans that don't like this whatsoever because they don't want to give up one of those second-round picks. Right now, the Bears are sitting really pretty, right? They have pick number 10 and then pick number 39 and 41 and pick number 72 in round 3. So Ryan Poles has a whole lot of draft ammunition to really round out a very impressive free agency or offseason for the Chicago Bears. So there's going to be a high uproar with Ben Devine's idea of trading up in general, and giving up pick number 39 in the process. But first and foremost, when you look at the little chart that he posted, the value does check out, because one of the first questions that a lot of people will have is, why in the hell would the New England Patriots move off to me, a generational talent like Abdul Carter and trade back? And Ben Devine hit it right on the nose. They are trying to protect their franchise quarterback, or they believe their franchise quarterback in Drake May. They have the same process, just how Ryan Poles, Ben Johnson, the Bears are building around Caleb Williams. You want to make sure Drake May is protected so they can trade back to pick number 10, still take the top offensive lineman in the draft, whether that's Will Campbell, Kelvin Banks, maybe Josh Simmons, whoever they have high on their board, they can take them at number 10. Then they would also have 2 second-round picks to continue to add to the trenches, or maybe add a defensive player or another offensive player for Drake May. So it would actually make a lot of sense for the New England Patriots to trade back, add some draft capital, right, and take care of some huge areas of need on their roster to really build around Drake May. When you look at the Chicago Bears point of view, this would be a very aggressive trade up. Abdul Carter to me is a generational talent. Once again, the value does check out. If the Bears send them pick number 39, that is 510 value points along with 1,300, right? So if you put them together, that's 1,810 value points in terms of when you're looking at the draft value. And of course, the number 4 pick is worth 1,800 value points. So it really does check out. So it makes a lot of sense why Ben Devine would even bring up this scenario. But now let's talk about the Chicago Bears point of view, because I actually like the idea, right? You know, and this is the scenario that Ryan Poles has really placed himself in when he addressed all those areas of need in free agency by adding Jonah Jackson and Joe Thuney, Dayo Dangbo, Grady Jarrett, among others, right? He gave himself the opportunity to go into round 1 of the 2025 NFL draft with every scenario on the table. If that means trading up for a generational talent like Abdul Carter, he can do that. If that is trading back and drafting a guy like Amarian Hampton out of UNC, he can also do that. But in regard to his post, right, and talking about Ben Devine trading up for Abdul Carter, we have talked about Carter so many times on this podcast. 6'3", 252 pounds. Obviously not the ideal size for what Dennis Allen likes in his defensive end. But when you look at Abdul Carter, you see flashes of Micah Parsons right away. This dude is absolutely elite. In 2024, he had 13 sacks, 10 quarterback hits, 43 hurries, a 22.6% pass rush win rate. Just an absolute elite prospect in the 2025 NFL draft. Once again, rare athlete, tier 1 NFL speed, natural explosiveness, and Ben, absolutely elite. Watch his tape. You definitely see that pop off the screen. Willingness to play physical despite his lighter weight, very effective and violent rip move, and good speed to power. Also has a basketball background, so when you see him do some of his pass rush moves, he's actually doing like crossovers and stuff because he has that basketball background. Once again, if he can just get a little bit stronger, he has all pro potential. And then you think about the idea of what Abdul Carter and Montez Sweat, Javon Dexter, Grady Jarrett, and Dayo Dangbo can do on one defensive line. I know there's going to be a lot of Bears fans that don't like the idea of the Bears giving up pick number 39 to go get this guy. But I think it would be a hell of a move by Ryan Poles to get a player like Abdul Carter that would make an absolute instant impact in Chicago with new Bears defensive coordinator Dennis Allen. This would be a risk like all other moves that you make in free agency or the NFL draft. But I think it's a risk that I could see Ryan Poles taking if everything works out. Do I actually think that the New England Patriots will pass on a guy like Abdul Carter if he falls number 4? Possibly not. But I think that intrigue to trade back to number 10 and add a very high second round pick at pick number 39 and still be able to get one of the top offensive linemen to pair with Drake May and still have those 2 second round picks to, you know, round out their roster and continue to build around Drake may be intriguing for them. And obviously the Chicago Bears get a generational talent in Abdul Carter. So Bears fans, would you guys be okay with Ryan Poles and the Bears trading number 10 and number 39 in round 1 and round 2 to move up to pick number 4 with the New England Patriots to land Abdul Carter in round 1 of the 2025 NFL draft? And before anyone says anything about losing pick number 39, we would still have pick number 41 as well. You can get Abdul Carter at number 4, and then you could probably take Quinshawn Junkins, running back out of Ohio State, with pick number 41. Then with pick number 72, you take the best player available on your board, rather it's more offensive line depth, rather you get a defensive tackle to add to the rotation. They would still be able to fill a whole bunch of needs on this roster. And once again, Ryan Poles and the Bears have this flexibility because of the work they did in free agency. So whether you love it or hate it, let me know down below in the comment section. I don't at all hate the idea. Obviously, it sucks to give up draft capital, but if you ever land a guy like Abdul Carter, I would be a very happy Bears fan in round 1 of the 2025 NFL draft. But Bears fans, as always, make sure you continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Keek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, be back for all new Bears podcasts right here on Keek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic.